Hey guys, so here's the thing. It seems to be this channel's turning more into my process as it goes forth with my health. My kids don't seem to be that interested in doing videos or things like that, but uh, I think God, our paths are destined from the beginning, and whether we like it or not, some things are going to happen and they were always going to happen. And I'm doing counseling and stuff like that to learn to accept my fate. And um, it's empowering being able to accept. It doesn't mean you have to like it, but to accept what is what is. And there was nothing you can do to change that path. So it was always destined to be that way. And currently, my biggest issue is this NJ tube, which I was speaking to my dietitian. This all started, I had a gastric bypass on the 6th of December 2018. And at my heaviest, I was 120 kilograms. It wasn't pretty, but I've got a debilitating back condition. It's not an excuse. Well, I mean, it makes it impossible for me to walk. I can do little exercises on the bed, but sometimes I literally cannot move my legs at all. And the pain in my knees and my hips is just unbearable. I've got a condition, as I've said before, it's called heterotopic ossification. I've got degeneration of the spine. I've got signs of arthritis. There's a whole bunch wrong with my back. I've had 2 spinal surgeries. The last one was very traumatic, and I ended up with heterotopic ossification. Nobody seems to know much about the heterotopic ossification on the spine. So it's quite daunting because you don't know who to talk to when you go to emergency or you go to the doctors. You basically have to carry around a folder with you explaining to them what it is. And what it is basically you've got jagged bits of bone growing where muscle should be that are extremely painful. And currently, right now, I can stand up. I can't feel my toes. And it's extremely painful to try and walk with or without my walker. It's you hear this grinding, which I can put up so you guys can hear it. I don't know if I can post audio only, I'm not sure. But it's quite horrific, and the sound difference between 12 months ago and now, it's quite a significant change. It's right now, it started off with like a light, it sounded like a wooden door creaking, and now it's really sort of heavy and a thick, more painful sound. It's hard to explain. Anyway, after speaking to my dietitian yesterday about my NJ tube, she advised me to go to the emergency, and there's no way I'm going to go to my local hospital because I had more trauma there than I dared to admit. So I went to my medical centre, which has a minor accident and emergency unit, and their advice was they rang the hospital where they did my tube, and their advice is that my tube, it was supposed to be in at 95 centimeters and that it's at about 70, which means that my food is not going in where it's supposed to, which explains the really bad pain that I get whenever I put anything down the tube. So basically, I'm at a stage now where I just can't bear to have another tube down my throat, because right now I can't lift my head up, because if I do, it makes me gag. And I go through bouts where I have trouble talking and I just nausea and vomiting. So it's not a poor me thing. It is what it is, like, I'm learning to deal with it. The advice was to go straight to hospital and to have it emergency removed and blah blah blah. But priorities to me is to set up my family for the future, because we don't know what these conditions are going to do to me. My fate is unknown. I know without the NG tube I cannot survive, because as a consequence to my bypass, I'm unable to swallow. My esophagus spasms, my stomach spasms, and it literally feels like I'm about to give birth between my chest. And it's yeah, I don't know if you're a mother and you've had contractions, you know what I'm talking about. If you can think of the worst pain imaginable coming between your chest and that you're about to push out a baby, that's what it kind of feels like. It's really intense, and it's like you curl up into a ball and you don't want to move and you're shaking, and it's quite frustrating. But I'm at a stage where I just can't handle having the tube in my throat, because it's making it even harder. I think it's causing part of the problem with my esophagus. And the other option is that they reverse the bypass, but then I don't see how that's going to fix the esophagus, because I don't understand how undoing that is going to fix that. And the other option is to put a more permanent feeding tube on my stomach, which is what I'd rather opt for, because then it's not obstructing my nasal airways and I don't sound like I've always got a cold. So, as you can see, my nasal airways are... I'm waiting to get surgery to open my airways up. As you get older, I didn't know this, that your nasal cavity collapses. And I used to be able to play the didgeridoo and circular breathe, and now I can barely sleep and breathe at the same time. So today is I got a my superannuation insurance payout last year, and I chose that. For me, it was important to, because my future's so uncertain, that I want to invest in property. So I bought some land, and we're going for a home loan today. And this is a process I've been trying to do for the last 6 months. And the appointment happens to be 12:15, which I'm supposed to have been in hospital since yesterday. And I feel that it's important that I have this meeting, because the future is uncertain, and if there's something that I want to be certain, is that my kids are looked after, that assurance is there, that you know, that land is owned outright. So I've bought that outright, so using that as collateral, and I've put extra money away to put, you know, for any extras and stuff like that, like the architect designing and stuff like that cost a bit of money. Plus, we've got to get water and sewage connected, we've got to get soil testing, and we've got to find out fire boundaries. I don't know if you've ever built a house, but holy cow, there's a lot to be involved. I never knew the process was so involved, and it's quite stressful, but I think my husband's doing a great job dealing with all the stuff that I'm unable to handle. So it's quite amazing that he's taken that on board. And you can see my rosary. I'm really into it. I'm a Catholic. And, you know, also dealing with the fact that my biological mum, whom I've not seen since I was about 7, I think, she's got respiratory problems right now. She's in hospital. She's in Colombia. I was going to try and see her, but I set up a GoFundMe page a couple of years ago, but it's impossible for me to travel now. There's no way I can sit down. I live my life laying down on my left side of my body because of the bone jagged edges on the spine. If I sit, it's extremely painful. So I basically travel laying on my side. Everything's on my side. So I've got this super expensive wheelchair that got made specially for me that I can't use because I can't really drive it sideways. sitting on the side. Can't really look to see where you're going. And it's a bit too painful. So anyway, the goal for today, I think for me it's important to set small goals because it's so tiring, and the goal for today is to get the loan set up and going. See the home loan specialist, who I'm very blessed he's coming here because my mobility issues, and then we're deciding whether I go to hospital. I've got to call them and find out, look, what's the go? What I don't know what to do, basically. Just interested, what would you guys do if you were me? Like, is there anyone, that I know there's a lot of people worse off than me, and I thank God that I'm in the position I am right now where I'm able to hopefully secure my family. One of my biggest wishes would be to go to Colombia and see my biological family, but unfortunately that's a reality that I've faced that is never going to happen because I just can't travel. Unless I can get like a special medical flight where I can have like a bed all the way there, which that's just crazy, that's unnecessary expenses, and it'd be too difficult to move around over there anyways. So little goals is to get this house built and hopefully move in the next 6 months, get the kids settled into their new school. Both of them will be at school by then, and see where life goes from there. But it's just going to be more difficult because we'll be moving 4.5 hours inland, so 5 hours away from the hospital where I'm treated, which does that's where the neurosurgeons are, the pain management specialists, the gastrointestinal surgeons, specialists, and everything like that. I'm very, very blessed to be under Dr. Hopkins, George Hopkins' team. I don't know if you've seen 600 Pounds Plus. He was actually featured in one of those where a gentleman ate himself to death. But he's my doctor. He's extremely nice. I just disagree with him about reversing the surgery because I see it as a pointless. I basically spent $24,000 to do something that we thought it was going to help, which nearly killed me. So it's just like, you might as well have put $24,000 down the toilet. And to me, it's a little bit hard to take because I could have done a lot with that money. But in hindsight, nobody knew what was going to happen. No one knows. You go in there with the best intentions and things just happen. I happen to be very unlucky, but, it is what it is. So, I don't know. If you're going through medical issues, if you're struggling in life, like how do you deal with it? I've got counsellors, I've got a psychiatrist, and I have my good days and my bad days. My struggle at the moment is deciding whether I want to put myself through another tube of hell or what to do. They've said that I won't survive if I don't have it in. That's made pretty clear. But, obviously I don't want to pass away. I've had, 16 suicide attempts in my life, and I'm so happy that I'm still here, because when I came really close to death in March, it made me realise just how much I want to be here for my kids. I was so sick. I started a business in December. I've been unable to do anything about it because I've just been sick. I started in November last year. Registered, did all that. I earned absolutely no money because my life's been on its side, literally. yeah, sorry, I'm rambling. I know, I'm sorry. But just interested, like, what advice would you give to someone in that situation? What would you do if you have limited options, and how would you feel if you, I don't know, it's just, I just need to talk, I guess. It's just, I'm very isolated where I am. I don't have, my friends are in Sydney and New South Wales, and I'm in Queensland, and I really don't have a support network here. So this is kind of my way of talking to people and my outlet. So just intrigued. What would you do if you had these debilitating conditions that there's nothing you can do about it? I'm finding that I can swallow my tablets, but for example, if I eat a McChicken nugget, it gets, I eat it and then it'll get lodged right here, and then I start gagging and uncontrollably just like vomiting till I'm sweating and shaking, and that causes me back spasms, and from there I can end up passing out, and it's not pretty. So I apologize for the dark circles, and I'm having a bit trouble sleeping, and yeah, what would you do? Hopefully you can help, just talk to me, subscribe, and let me know what you would do. And I know this is an unconventional way of doing it because I don't know how to edit. I'm not technically savvy. I haven't figured out how to do it on the computer or anything like that to edit or to stop rambling or to have a nice intro. I'm a 38-year-old woman. I wasn't born in the technology age. I was born just as it was coming in. When I was in year 10, I think it was, year 11, I think computers came out, and I can't remember. It was a long time ago anyways, and I feel like one of those grandparents who's like, how do you send a text? I don't know how to work computers. I used to be pretty good at it. I did graphic design and I used a Mac, but ask me to Photoshop now and I wouldn't even have a clue how to do it. It's, unless you keep up with it, it bypasses you. Anyway, comments, let me know what you would do. I don't know if comments are enabled or not, but what would you do? Yeah, anyway, hope you guys are having a fabulous day. I'm Blanca, and yeah, this is my life from the sideways view, and yeah, anyway, rambling stopped. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Peace, love to all, and I pray to God none of you are going through what this annoying thing I'm going through, but I know a lot of you are worse off, and there's not much you can do about it, and life sucks at times, but all you can do is take one day at a time, and pray the next day it's going to be better. Alright, love ya, bye.